And we're on, hell yeah! It's such an honor to have you back. So many things happened since the last time we met in person. But first
Yeah.
of all, who the hell are you?
My name is Scott Reynolds, and I'm a what am I? I'm a singer and and a dog owner and a dog owner and a songwriter and all of that. How you doing?
Yeah, you know, your dog and you, the relationship is such amazing. I follow you since many years, and it's a beautiful love, and it's such a cute thing to see. And I know it's a huge part of your life, but maybe for people that didn't know the story, how did you get it?
Oh well, he's 10 years old. So 10 years ago, uh, well, I've always had dogs, and we needed one more because we'd lost one, and I was married back then. I'm not married anymore, and so my daughter at the time was 13. So we got this Chihuahua. We already had a Chihuahua. And she said, "Dad, it's my turn to name the dog." And I said, "Oh, well, that's fair. All right, it's your turn." So she named the dog Justin Bieber because she was a 13-year-old girl 10 years ago. And then she grew up and left. And so now I'm an old fart with a dog named Justin Bieber. So that's the story. And he just comes everywhere with me. But I mean, I think
And
everybody who's got
funny
a
you
dog
say
loves
how
a dog.
Cal, he's always calm, and you can make him wear outfit. He take the pictures and everything. Every dog that I had in my life or cats, I were never able to put them in outfit or just keep them not moving. I'm just taking a pictures and just
Yeah, he's weird that way. I mean, yeah, he's really like a good sport, He's a good sport. Whatever, whatever shit I put him through, he's like, that's okay, I'll do that. That's fine, you know?
like the total trust. I trust you. Let's do this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people have dogs that they got that relationship with, though. I just happen to, well, for one thing, my girlfriend's really clever and she has good ideas for pictures, you know what I mean? She's like, hey, why don't we dress him up like a dinosaur? The first one we took, she dressed me up like a cactus. And since he's Mexican, he's a Chihuahua, we gave him a sombrero and a poncho and took a picture. That was when I lived in Texas. So we found a field of cactuses and he put up with that one. And that's where we were like, hey, this dog will let us do shit like that. So after that,
You always got the marketing tool in your hand all those life, but she saw. But
yeah.
you two together are doing such a great team. I must say a huge thanks to her for doing that interview, booking it.
Oh, yeah.
It's beautiful to see how she helped you. I felt that you were doing thing your way and not really care about marketing or just promoting or just let's see what's life throw
Yeah.
my way. But I think she structured the thing, and it's cool to
That,
see.
that's what happened. I actually do care about marketing and I did, I always wanted something to succeed, but I never. I'm just my mind doesn't work that way. I'm super left brain or right brain and super scattered. And she's real. We'll do this today. We'll do that. She makes sure I take my pills and things. So it's great. It's a good. Uh, if you ever see the movie, you ever see the first movie Rocky? And
Yes.
okay, that's my favorite movie. And just because when I was a kid it meant so much to me. But there's a scene in Rocky where Paulie, Adrian's brother, goes, what do you see with my sister? I don't get it. And he says, I don't know. She fills gaps. You know that scene? He goes, gaps. What's gaps? And Rocky says, I don't know. She got gaps. I got gaps. Together we fill gaps. That's me and Janet. We were like,
Wow.
we just yeah. So it works.
Yeah, and it's such a great reference. It's a great movie, actually. He really fought for that. That movie, that role, and people don't know. He wrote the whole thing. He wrote the whole thing. It's amazing.
And he wouldn't sell it unless they gave him the part. They offered him
Yeah.
money too. He's like, I think they wanted somebody. I can't remember, like Ryan O'Neal or somebody. I don't know. Anyway, it's my favorite movie. When I
So
was, go ahead.
you had songs, you had wrote songs, but there was nothing really on the last time we spoke. But now there's a new records, Chihuahua in Buffalo. I listened to it. I really love the experience. It's a really cool, some jazz, a lot of stuff in it. Was
Yeah.
it something that you wanted to build in a order, or is it something that really came naturally, those songs, and you just put them all together and just release it?
Yeah, I have a lot of songs, and when I write songs, that's what they sound like. I didn't have to change anything. Like every song, the all stuff, the Goodbye Harry, any of it, that's what it sounds like when I come to practice. Like if I write a song, it sounds like that. So I didn't have to do anything. I was just talking to Bill Stevenson on the phone, and I was like, "Yeah, I think I want to make a just a record of me on the guitar because I just feel like making a record, like so you can hear the lyrics and the way I do them." And he's like, well, "Why don't you come out here? We'll get drunk and have fun and make a record." So I went out there, and yeah, I mean, I could make another one just like it right now. I could probably make three more. I have enough songs. It really was. I didn't do anything except I have a $250 nylon string guitar, and I played my songs and then sang them, and then me and Bill went and had Thai food and Mexican food and got drunk and made a record. And it's called Chihuahua and Buffalo because uh, my style of music, the way I play music, the way I do it with the nylon string guitar and no pick and the weird chords and that I don't even know what they are. Uh, like if you ask me what chord is that, I'll go, it's that. Um, so I feel like uh, like JB before I moved back here to Buffalo. He lived in Texas. That's where he was born, and it was warm and it was nice, and and I picked him up and moved him back here to Buffalo, and all of a sudden he's like, "Fuck, it's cold. Uh, I don't know. I don't fit. I don't know what to do here. I'm not." And I thought, that's kind of me with my classical nylon string guitar playing these kind of songs. I don't know where I fit in at all, just like him. Like he put on a parka and dealt with it, and it's like me. That's how I feel. I like if I go out and play shows, I open for Pennywise, me and this guitar opening for Pennywise. Like, where do I play when I play this kind of stuff? So that's why I call it like the Chihuahua, and that's why I came up with Chihuahua and Buffalo, because that's how I feel. It's not a bad feeling; it's actually kind of a good feeling. But where does it belong? I have no idea who to play with.
It's really interesting that you mentioned that. And, I think that people that were in the 90s when punk rock explodes were into like that skate melodic punk. But as people grow up, and since a lot of those artists play acoustic records, because at some point everybody were releasing an acoustic records,
Right.
people get to that songs and get to love it. So I think people are maybe more open mind with the Spotify and everything, since they can listen to anything. And it's
Right.
not like back when we were a kid where you identify yourself with the music you listen. And if they catch you listening to Madonna, if you're a punk rocker or metalhead, you're dead.
Yeah. And
So
I and,
now, yeah,
and I've never been that guy. I listen to everything. I listen to musicals. I like My Fair Lady. I listen to whatever. And I, I've I've always been that way, even when I was at my most like immersed in the punk rock community. But I feel like people, like you say, are afraid to go. Well, I'll listen to something a little different because. So if it's somebody that you know from another genre or whatever, and he comes out and goes like, "Here's this," people go, "Well, I'm going to give it a listen and maybe listen to something a little different." Because most people like a good melody, you know what I mean? And most people like I mean, I like Miley Cyrus has a song I really like. I don't give a shit, and so like I think you make a record like this, and then people come out and go, yeah, I can go ahead and listen to some nylon string jazz bow music, and doesn't make me a douchebag. So or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
No, I always felt that the most interesting people are the people that are really open minded, and you can talk to them about a lot of things because they're curious about life, not
Yeah.
just opening a couple of doors. I think if you open all the doors, that's where incredible thing happen, because there's more amount of those magical time
Right.
that can happen. But a
Right.
lot of people, like you said, just choose to open that door. Oh, I feel safe, I don't go anywhere else. I read that people after 30, they don't want to listen to new stuff. I know it's a joke, but I'm like the
But,
total open. I'm always listening to new stuff.
yeah.
I just can't stuck in one thing. It keep going.
Right. And I don't find any style or type of music illegitimate. I think I like very little of everything. Like I think there's only a few people in every single genre and stuff that are the creators of the original shit, and then everything else starts to get watered down and turned into something crappy. So, but I like there's literally not a kind of music that I love bluegrass music. I like polka music. If it's really good, I go listen to that band. They're great, and I don't go like, oh, it's a punk rock band, so I'll give them a pass. It's like, yeah, it's a punk rock band and they suck. They suck, or whoever. It's a country band and they suck. Oh, it's a country band and they're really good. Whatever. It's just that when you're the guy, when I'm doing this thing, like a lot of my friends who did punk started doing the alt country thing where they play kind of country music. My thing doesn't fit with it. They'll invite me to go, you want to come up and play with us? And I'll go, okay, but it's not the same thing. And it's not. It's like this other thing. And I think that's a good thing, but it's also sort of makes it difficult to figure out where I belong. So that's the whole Chihuahua and Buffalo. Where the hell am I?
I
Hmm.
love it. Yeah, lost in somewhere in the between scene.
That's somewhere.
And
Yeah.
but as I always said, it's beautiful life because you're great musicians, but you don't see yourself as that. Or like you said, I don't. If you ask me the name of the chorus or anything, I don't know. But since you listen to a lot of stuff, you're that guy, who, that talent that came naturally. And I think it's really beautiful because you're not corrupt by something or a teacher that told you really young to play that way in piano and everything. It's just you
That's
did it your way.
that. There's truth in that.
And
Yeah. As far as be corrupt teachers, yeah, teaching kids sometimes is the worst thing you can do to them. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I had a, I took drum lessons for about a month, and they were trying to teach me paradiddles and stuff. And a lot of it I wish I had stuck and learned, but I went and got my parents to get me a drum set, and I just started playing myself. Took piano lessons. My mom would hear me playing, thinking I was playing my lesson. I wasn't. I was making up songs. And so I didn't learn how to play. I didn't learn how to play. Uh, Same thing with the guitar. I just got a chord chart, and then I started moving my fingers to go like, well, if I put my finger over here, it sounds like that. That's pretty neat. And so on the one hand, it's like, yeah, I taught myself to play guitar. On the other hand, I taught myself not to know how to play guitar because I can't. I host this open mic here online, and it was in our bar, and everybody in that open mic is a better musician than I am. Everyone, they're all amazing, and it's just like I just make shit up. It's very, I don't know. In some ways, I like it and I think it's good. In other ways, I go, I wish I had spent more time, taken more time to understand this instrument. There's
you
pros
know,
and
in the end, what matter is creating good thing. And I think that it doesn't take if you got the talent is not enough. I think it take the balls and the courage, because I know a lot of people that got talent but they cannot go play in front of people. They're
I do
so
too.
scared.
I do
and
too.
the anxiety and everything. So they play for themselves and they just record on their own and they release it, but they don't play. And
Yeah,
it's happened a lot in the metal scene too. You know, the project two guys and they don't play. But yeah, it's not for everyone. So I think that the principal thing is to have courage, and
it's
after that, talent is just the bonus thing.
it's scary to get up there, and I don't ever. If I play to 5 people or however many, I get nervous every night, like I'm gonna throw up every night. It doesn't matter how many people, and I never get over it. And I wish I could, because I know people that go, well, I get a little nervous, but then I get playing and it goes away. There are some nights I play all night and still be going, I'm terrified. I wish I could relax. It does. It takes a lot of guts to do it, uh, and some people, it's just not worth it to them. As far as everybody wants something different from life. Some people want to play in front of people. Some people go, I have no desire to do that. I like to play my guitar, but I don't give a shit about playing in front of people. And yeah, who knows?
Yeah, and it's gonna be really interesting when everything start again,
I know.
because you're gonna, you asking yourself where I belong. It's gonna be surreal how many offer you're gonna have, and everybody's gonna have. Everybody's gonna be on tour because
Yeah.
people are so in need of that. But the good thing is that a lot of people realize the importance of culture and the artists, and
I hope so.
um, and did you feel that there's way more people aware of what's happening around them musically now? Did you have more listening if you
Yeah,
compare before the pandemic?
yeah, I think you're right. I hadn't noticed, but now that you mention it, yeah, I think you're probably right. I think it's kind of forced people to be a little more interested and have to search for things to, yeah. Hmm. It will be interesting to when this is over to see if my shows are better. Um, I'm getting a pretty good response on the record, which is good, really good, because you know it's hard to figure out if people are interested in what you're doing. You book a tour and then you go out and you go, oh great, nobody cares. And that's happened a million times. But maybe this time I go out and there have some decent shows. Some good crowds. Or I mean, for me, a good crowd isn't the most important thing at all. I don't really care. I mean, it's nice, but I used to get really aggravated when I'd go play a show and there weren't very many people that came to see me, and it's in a bar and everybody's talking. And I used to get like, you know what, fuck this. I'm just not even. I'm gonna. I never did. I mean, I always finished the show, but I'd get in my head, fuck this. What am I doing? I've been at this for 30 fucking years now. What the fuck? And then I realized that there was, even if there was just two guys there or whatever, two people, a couple who got a babysitter and got their car and drove down to see me play, and I'm in what I don't know, I'm in Montreal, and I think, wow, they came down to see me play. I'm gonna fucking play. What kind of asshole goes? It's not enough. I mean, I'm a million miles from home, and here's people here that want to see my music. That's the coolest thing in the world. So I found that if I just pick the enthusiastic person or the whatever, the little group that's there to see me, and just me and you, I could play anywhere. So I guess that I got sort of sidetracked, but yeah, maybe the shows will be better, but it's okay if they're not. Still, you know,
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that. I wrote the Iron Maiden book, and Bruce Dickinson was saying, when he started playing shows, he get the attentions of the most drunken guy in the crowd, and
yeah,
just get make contact, and then like the whole crowd don't want that, so they're listening to you after that. They're stop
yeah,
talking.
good
They want
idea.
to be
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I really can't wait to get back out and play again. I love playing shows. I like being nervous, and I like after the show when like we're all getting drunk and having fun. I miss all that. It's really fun, and I like being in a different town every night. And I like uh, one thing I really like is that like my mind. I can't. keep track of stuff. My mind goes everywhere. That's why we were talking about Janet, my girlfriend, you know, zeroing in on what's important to and helping me make it happen. When I get out on tour, I have one goal, each day, one objective. Just get up. What time do I have to be at the venue? Time is sound check. Set up the merchandise, get something to eat, play the show, party a bit, either go to sleep or drive. Next day, same thing. One thing the whole time, and it keeps me from getting nervous. I'm a very nervous person. Keeps me from getting weirded out. It's like it's very specific. I don't feel like, I don't know if you go through it where you go, should I be doing something different? Am I wasting time right now? Like all day. Uh,
Wow.
and it's like on tour, you go, I got to be there by 7. You know, I got no choice. This is what I'm doing. And it makes for a simple life. And a fun one.
Yeah, and I completely understand you. I'm the same. A lot of people think you're doing a radio show, you're a social guy, and you always go talk to people, but it's really not the case. I've got moment where I'm doing the thing, and then when it's done, it's done. I just want to be with my family, and I'm somewhere else, and
Right.
I go to Walmart and I see people that know the show. Sometimes I skip just to see
I
them.
do that too.
I'm like that. Sometimes I'm really socials when it comes like for the radio show and promote the artist and help the band. But after that, I'm really a cave guy.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't go out much, but I do for some reason when I'm on tour, before I play, I'm just sort of really quiet and I mean, I'm friendly. I'm not a mean guy. I'm not an asshole, but I'm nervous and I get nervous and I spend the day and I've got all this weird energy and this and so I like the energy. I try to take a nap or whatever, and then as soon as I'm done with the set, I'm in this ridiculously good mood. When everything's done for the day, and that's when all the trouble starts. That's when I go bananas, and I don't do that at home. You know what I mean? It's like I don't have this giant release of everything. Like I get on stage so that when I'm done, I'm like I always picture the catastrophe all day long, the big catastrophe. They're not going to like it. Something's going to blow up. Boom. And when it's all done, I'm so relieved and so excited, and everybody's so nice and happy to see me. Like that's something I think a lot of people who play music take for granted. How happy people are to see you. They're happy. A lot of other people don't get that, where they go, "Oh my God, I'm really happy you're here." Who gets that except performers and maybe the doctor, but so when it's all over, it's just like this wrecking ball of good energy, and I'm just like, yeah. And then when I go to sleep, the next day I wake up nervous again, start all over, and I really like the cycle. It's fun. It's exciting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Anxiety is such a pain in the ass sometimes. Yeah, it's like a fucking bullet, a huge ball that you always, it carry on when it comes to do thing. It's like, you have a rough day and there's a lot of stressful things, so you don't sleep well, and then you go doing your thing, and then it's done, and you're so happy you get through the
So
journey because it's so
yeah.
exhausting, and just like, yeah, now I can party. Now I feel well. I'm not in that, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. There'll be nights on tour uh, where I'm like, or days, I'll be like, man, I cannot drink tonight. I cannot party. Uh, I'm wrecked. I'm ruined. I've been doing it too much. So let's get this show done, and then let's go somewhere quiet and sleep. Sure as shit. As soon as the show's over, I'm like, woo! Where am I? Baltimore? You know. Next thing I know, I'm in Baltimore, just going bananas. Next day, wake up. Oh, dude, you got to stop doing this. It was worse when I was younger. When I was in all, we played 200 shows a year, all over the place. Yeah, and we lived like animals. And but Man, every night, I would just go. There was never a night where I just never a night like Bill could could go, yeah, fuck this, I'm going to bed. I don't want to do this, and he would do it all the time. And me and me and Stefan in Europe every night. Oh my god, just it was just it was ridiculous. One time we played with Fugazi in, in Holland.
not,
Yeah,
not the most party animal out there.
yeah, not at all. Yeah, and uh, it was the end of our 2 months in Europe. We had done like a month and a half across the U.S. or something, and then took a plane over and did a month and a half in Europe or something. And it was the last show in Holland with Fugazi. And with all that touring and stuff, we were really tight. We were like a machine the way we played, but we were also wrecked, like physically. We were wrecked because we were drunk and crazy every night. And so we got done, and the reviews came out, and they were like, "Fugazi's the greatest band in the world," and da 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 da. And they said all, and basically it said incredibly tight, very very good at playing music, very boring. It just said we were so boring because we were standing there. We were like, one more show, or when we're gonna die, you know? Yeah. So I'm not like that too bad anymore, but boy oh boy. But I still can't help it, you know. I mean,
Well, that was crazy. I don't know if Bill came out with that crazy idea of more we play, more easy we get to the descendant thing, where maybe they leave after the first records, and it's a tough thing because you burn yourself. It takes time to wrote, maybe
well,
doing 100 of show 150, but more strategic, not playing everywhere.
yeah. Well, that's the thing is that mostly it was done out of necessity because the only time you made any money was playing shows. You know, you didn't make money from records. You made money playing shows. So we just kept playing shows, booking shows, making money. We didn't make a lot of money, but even just to stay afloat. And then we moved to that house in Missouri because Los Angeles was too damn expensive, and that was so that we could not have to get a job. So a lot of times, we would play places so many times in the United States that the shows just got small. And it wasn't that we weren't. It's just like I'll catch them next time. They'll be back in 3 or 4 months. I mean, some places it was like we were local, and it was just because we just kept going. You can't do that. You have to. It has to be an event when you show up.
Yeah, and now things are different. It's crazy how, huge festival want those gem of the past that, at that time nobody really cared, it was really hard. And now they're throwing
Oh,
those
I know.
crazy offers, like
Yeah, you see.
who were you back in the days, god damn it.
Yeah, I know. I go watch Descendants, and it's like, holy, look at all these people. Crazy, crazy. Yeah, I go. Well, just everybody. And the weird thing is that it's like all of these people, and a lot of them aren't old. They're younger people watching old people play music, and it's like, how'd that happen? It's because I feel like young folks don't have a scene like we used to, because it used to be when I was a kid, there was college radio, and there were a few record labels, just a few, and your favorite record store, and you'd follow this. And so when anything happened, you know, uh, you knew where to go. You go like, okay, Cruise or SST Records or Alternative Tentacles or Discord or whatever, and this record store, and I'll go there and I'll find out what I want, and then I'll find these zines and I'll find a show. Now that stuff's kind of all gone, and kids are just left like searching the internet for what's good. It's not. There's no centralized place to get information about what bands you want to know about. And so I think a lot of the bands that used to be big or used to be the punk rock thing or whatever, I think they got in, they became quasi famous before it got too busy for people to find anything. So that it became like, well, Black Flag. You see, everybody's got a freaking Black Flag shirt on, and it's like that. What year was the last Black Flag record? But still, it seems current, and kids come and they watch. Like I go watch Flag play because Bill and Stefan are in it, and there's so many people, and they know all the words, and you go like, you guys do know that these records came out 35 years ago, right, or whatever. Like, don't it's just everything is so different with the way it is now. There's no centralized way to find underground music, it seems like. So I don't know, but I could be wrong because a lot of people do that. What is it called? House music, or I don't know what it's called, but you know what I'm talking about. Maybe that's what it is now. I don't know, but I just find it so strange how popular bands from 30 years ago are. They're huge. You go see the Damned. I'm gonna go see the Damned. The freaking Damned. I love the Damned. I saw the Damned and the Stranglers. I love the Stranglers, but it's like there were a lot of people to see the Stranglers, and it's like the Stranglers. You know what year this came out? That'd be like when I was a kid, me going to see Buddy Holly. I mean, literally. Like what? It's really weird.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned the dam. I did. I'm doing those story punk because I felt that if you're French and try to look into history of punk rock, there's almost nothing on a lot of band, and information is hard to find. So I gather all the information, and I'm doing a story about band, and I did the dam in two part because there's so much to say about them.
Right.
And it get me into learning everything because I listen to the records. They got a documentary which is crazy. I love it.
What's it?
They're good. I was supposed actually to do an interview for their comeback with the original lineup for the record Damn Damn Damn, but it's on hold. It's funny, it's the first time they answer me that, and I'm French, so it took me a while to really get it. They say, we're gonna go, we for now on, we're gonna park the interview. I getting back to you. I'm gonna park the interview. It doesn't mean a shit to me. What would that mean? Like,
What does it
we
mean?
get this on hold?
How did it? So did you do the interview or not?
No, it's on park. So I'm
Oh,
waiting.
park. Oh, they're gonna park. What the hell? Well, but they're gonna do it, right?
I hope so. I hope so. What I felt is maybe something not working, so they're getting on hold for now on, and they're waiting for to see if they can do it because it's
I,
I think it's a 6 shows they're doing in UK.
huh. Well, that's cool. That's very cool.
And it's so interesting that when the dam came for the first time in the US, that's where like the whole scene just level up. Everybody will like, I think Bad Brain opened for them, and like everything in DC went crazy, and it just happened so fast.
Right.
They're such original and
Oh, they're
such
great.
underrated band here in Canada and Quebec.
Really.
Yeah, because they didn't tour a lot here, so people don't know them well.
Yeah, I figured like well, they're underrated anyway, but I figured pretty much everybody knew the Damned. Huh. Yeah, they're a great band. Just a great band. But I mean, I went to punk rock bowling year before last or whatever, and it was all those bands. Like it was like doesn't matter. It was just
Scott
crazy. It's all
Cooper,
just yeah,
Discharge, all those old bands.
yeah. And I was like adolescence, just and like it was packed full of really enthusiastic people, and it was like this is crazy. This stuff's really old, like genuinely old, and people are just it still seems current to people, you know.
I think, as band, you're in there, you're inside, you don't see the outside. But in the outside, sometimes it's a wheel, you're there, there's people, you quit, and there for you, it's done. You told me that on the last interview. When all was done, you move on and didn't think about that, and it was another thing. And people were like, "Oh man, you're not in all." Yeah, it's not my life. I didn't define myself with all.
Oh
I
yeah.
was an artist. I can go on with another band. I can do other things.
Yeah.
But at the end, it's yeah. So I think that when people came, when sorry, when they released like the documentary on Descendants, everybody knew about all after that. So it must be surreal for you too to see all those people now caring about all. When back in the days, there was just a few people that were into it.
I don't know. Yeah, I suppose I haven't really noticed it that much. I mean, when I quit all, we were, we went from playing over the course of my tenure with the band. We went from playing at the Annie Club in Los Angeles, for instance, which tiny place, maybe have 100 people there, to uh, we were playing with Bad Religion, the Ritz in New York, and the Vic Theater, and so those weren't giant theaters, but those were 500, 600 people, and so when I quit, it seemed like it was headed somewhere that you know, but so I mean, we had some degree of success. It wasn't like complete nothing. But yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that anybody. I'm more surprised that after all these years and without making any records, anybody gives a shit. I guess that's a little, but it's like, wait, what? You're kidding me? No, Always Revenge is my favorite record. It's like, oh, that surprises me. Well, cool. you know, so I don't know. It's weird
Yeah,
how.
me
Oh,
too. Me too. I think you got so great songs like "She's My Ex." It's a hit. It's a
yeah,
it's a song that you listen one time and it's stuck in your head. And when I know a song is like that, it's where my kid listen to it. They don't care about punk rock, and
yeah,
they sing it after. I'm like, that's working. So
right.
there was a lot of that, but there was a lot of weird stuff too. That most musicians would find really interesting because they're learning new way to play and new rhymes and new. But for common people, it's like, oh, it's weird.
Yeah, we shot ourselves in the foot that way pretty good. Uh, we I don't know. We didn't really think of it that way though. It was more just write a song and show up for practice and see if we want to play it. And it wasn't. I think if we'd have paid a little more attention to what I think people wanted from us, we could have done better. But uh, I don't really think we gave a shit what people. We just wanted to play. And the people that were on board, we were like, awesome. See you at the show. And we thought a lot of people are going to like this one, and it'd be one where people go, ugh, what is that? And then I don't know. I don't know.
And And you're right, because after all, you're doing it for yourself. When you release the records, it's not about, a selfish thing to say, as an artist, I've released something that I like, that I enjoy doing. If you don't like it, I don't fucking care.
Yeah, but
Pass
it's
on everything. You didn't compromise for the fans or for anybody. So at the end, the history is interesting because of that.
I suppose, but there's also something in it that you go, well, I mean, if people like a certain thing that we do and we like them, maybe we should. I think it should be a little more give and take. I think because I think that the people that like your band are also part of the band. It's like it's as I get older, I find that I I don't care a lot about pleasing people, but I find that the stuff I play is more pleasing to people for some reason. You know what I mean? Like if you listen to that record, my mom likes that record than the last one. And so do a lot of the straight up punker people. And so I think when you're young, you sort of are at odds with what you're trying to do because you want people to like it. You want them to come, but then you go, but I don't want to compromise. And it's like, well, then how sincere is that? Because you're bummed out that there's not very many people here. You go like, oh, not very many people at the show, but I'm not going to do anything to get more people to the show. But I'm bummed out there's not very many people. but fuck it, I don't care. But I'm bummed out. It goes. I don't know. I don't know.
That's where it's tough. And if it were easy, everybody would do this,
Yeah.
It's that, roller coaster. You never know, but that's exciting, Maybe that's the missing thing and the missing piece of the puzzle when punk rock become not, it's just you're going to a show, it's not
Right.
exciting anymore. It's not dangerous anymore. So I think you got to keep that edge in your career, not knowing, getting outside your comfortable zone, and that's where those magical moments happen because you
Right.
don't fucking care.
Yeah. And the thing is, I don't care a lot about. I, I in some ways care even less now. Like I write a song and I think that maybe what I like as I get older is more kind of in tune with what other people like because I'm older and I'm not mad at the well, I'm mad at the world, but it's more like I'm mad at the world, but I'm realizing there's not a lot I can do about it, and that screaming about it isn't fixing it, and maybe I'll just write songs that I think are good and important to me, and then I think a lot more people go, yeah, I don't have to work at this to listen to it. I can just kind of let it run over me like a warm shower and just enjoy it. And I think when you're a kid, that whole aspect is not there. The Descendants kind of more than some other bands. I think like one of the first things I liked about the Descendants was that their songs were singable and good. So I think on a certain level they always had the idea that I want to write a good song, a good poppy maybe song or a good hook, you know, because a lot of the punk rock bands that I liked back then, that was the last thing they wanted. They wanted just to shake stuff up. So I think that you can make the transition into being an older person playing music and people don't go, boy, did that guy change. Like if Gigi Allen was still alive and he started doing lounge music, people would go like, sell out. But if I start doing lounge music, people go, okay, I'm okay with that. So who
But
knows?
you're right. You're right. And I think that the Descendants and Bad Religion bring a lot of intelligence in a scene that we're a lot of fucked up kid doing like really weird cheap drugs, drinking cheap, and at the end there was crazy time. When I read the story about Ellie, it got really violent at some point, which is a lot of band disband and just didn't want anything to do with that because some
Yeah.
crazy fucker think, that beating another kids in the mosh pit is punk rock. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that when you take a step and you look at it, those bands really bring, like that song, we must read. They took like the we must bleed of the germs and just change it in something positive and
Yeah.
create it. You can read a book and being in college and being a punk rocker, just questioning the system. And you can just be a politician and try to change the system, and be punk. It's not about the Mohawk or
No,
fisting
no.
some
And,
kid. It's
and I think a lot of that music was aggressive just for aggressiveness sake. And I'd be like, go listen to a Ramones record, man. Relax for a little while. Go listen to, you know, Sheena is a punk rocker and shut the fuck up. Relax. And I don't know. When I first started listening into punk rock music, uh, there was so many different kinds of bands too. You could go to the show and see, you know, a hardcore band. Well, there was like the Minutemen and Descendants and Black Flag, all on the same label and all playing shows together, and they don't sound anything alike. And everybody's like cool with it. And I remember it used to be there'd be some guy with a mohawk standing next to a dude with long hair, standing next to I don't know, some skinhead looking guy, and they'd all be having fun listening to all different kinds of music. And then one day it wasn't cool anymore, and they started to you get the New York hardcore, and you get and they sort of ruined it. They took all the fun out of it and just made it angry and ugly. And I think that's why bands like Bad Religion or you know, or the Descendants or what, or even the Ramones, I think that's why they lasted, because they didn't take a lot of energy to go to like. You could just listen to it. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, and if I can make a parallel, like the Ramones was kind of the same with All. They had a certain success, but it was not the success that my generation think of the Ramones.
Right.
They're not big anthem arena band, you know. People were not sharing like, you know, the Blitzkrieg Bop. Nobody cared about them, you know, and it's kind of sad when you see the end of the band, you know. They really try everything without Dee, but it was art. Dee, you know, the writing and the genius of the guy.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a kind of sad story, but people don't see that as the way it is, you know. They and it's cool because the Ramones is it's now, you know, that you know, it's kind of it's a culture thing. Everyone knows about the Ramones now.
Right. But I guess my point is more that the Ramones, like if you listen to the Ramones and then you listen to, you say like Bad Religion is trying to make a socio-political statement of importance, and the Ramones might be singing about, uh, we're a happy family sitting here in Queens eating refried beans, and like as far as lyrics, I guess, and social intent, or the Clash, who was super political or whatever. The bottom line was the music was uh, was good and was not alienating and was like kind of all inclusive and interesting, and they wrote good hooks. So just strictly from the music standpoint, bands like that, uh, as time goes on, seem to get, they're able to keep playing and people are interested in it. And then a lot of the more hardcore stuff, which I loved, at a certain point you go, yeah, but I don't want to vacuum my house listening to that. I don't want, you know what I mean? I don't want to, if I'm going to listen to that, I'm going to have to smash some stuff or go to a show, and I think that's more what I mean. I just think, yeah, that music, if you have to work at it, listening to it, it starts to, that doesn't make it bad. I mean, I'm a giant Frank Zappa fan. I've always been a Frank Zappa fan. Grew up listening to Frank Zappa, uh, and I like putting in the effort to listen to Frank Zappa. But not a lot. Some people go like, "Oh my God, turn that stuff off," and I get it. But if you have like good hooky music, you could sing about shitting your pants, and people will sing along. They'll be like, "Great, I love this song." You know?
Yeah, yeah, a lot of bands prove it. You can
Yeah.
write about any fucking stupid thing. More stupid, more it's working now.
I
That's
mean,
the sad thing.
it can be stupid or it can be really like intelligent. But if it's got a good hook and it's fun to sing, people will listen to it. And I
True.
think I think that's what happened with a lot of the hardcore stuff is people go, this is exhausting. I just want to listen as you get older. And I don't know, because like one of my favorite bands is No Means No, and that's super difficult. It makes sense that I love No Means No because I love Frank Zappa and I love uh,
Wow.
uh,
So cool that you mentioned that. I just did an interview with Joey Shitted from DOA, and
Joey.
actually play in a band called Skulls before DOA, and he play with the guys from No Means No. So they're really bonded together. And I meet the guy that play in Ensign Brothers, which is I love that band. It's all about hockey. It's
Great.
so like
Yeah.
Ramones. They're doing so well, but no means no. It's a great example of another underrated band here. That
Oh,
if you love them, you're a fans. You got everything, and if you
yeah.
don't like it, you just pass on.
Well, that's the thing about it. No Means No is a lot of work to listen to it, but I think people who don't like the records need to go watch them play live to just see
Yeah,
what to see. I'm like, I don't. If I listen to Wrong and I go, I listen to it and I go like, for me, I go, how can you not like this? To me, it's like I said, I like Frank Zappa. I love Frank Zappa, but I see why people go, I hate this. This is awful. But when I listen to No Means No, it's very difficult, very. But it just blows my mind, and I just go, wow, the things these guys are accomplishing here with a three-piece band. I just don't. It seems so obvious to me that they're great that I just go like, what the fuck's going on here? There's several bands I feel that way about. Uh, the Big Boys, from Austin. I listen to the Big Boys records and I just go, how can you not like this? This is just so fucking good. It makes me so
like
mad.
no one here know about them. Like if you mention that in Quebec, like people, what?
I'm
But
sure.
you're right. I don't listen to everything they did, but what I listened to was really like original, like you said, totally different. It
Very
just,
interesting. Yeah.
but I think that people, the Beatles prove a thing. People like simple thing, simple
Yeah.
song, catchy songs. It get in your end, and people get, we were drive to that with mainstream
And
radio and everything.
I think that's fine. I really don't think we were totally driven to it. I think like I'm a musician. So, just like an architect will tell you how beautiful a house is and all of this. If I'm not an architect, I'll go, but when it rains, if I'm inside there, do I get wet? And they're like, no. And I go, well, then I like this house. It's doing what I wanted this house to do. And it's like with music, if you're not, jerking off to music, like you're just going like, I like music. It's cool. I just, like I said, I just want it to flow over me like a shower. I just want to, then, maybe you put in No Means No, or you put in even an all record, and like Alroy Saves comes on, and then there's all that goofy shit, and people go like, the fuck is that? I don't want to work that hard. I just want to. But for me, when I listen to No Means No, and it might be because of my musical background, I just hear like, holy shit, this is so good. Why doesn't everyone love it?
Yeah,
But deep down, I get it. Like if I play that for my mother, she's gonna go, holy crap, what the fuck, dude? Turn that off. But I don't know. I don't know. I think a lot of people, even who aren't even musicians, just people who love music or are involved in music, get kind of worked up, get kind of, oh, what's the word? I can't think of the word. Insulted or nasty or whatever, or condescending about people who go,
yeah,
look, I don't want that. I want Lionel Richie. I want to, and I go to them. Yeah, just like when I say make the architect thing, it's like I get an architecture maybe not because I can see a beautiful architecture and whatever, but you know what I'm saying. It's like
yeah.
I don't. If I'm somebody who goes, I'm looking at myself. Like what would be something for me? Like maybe dance or motorcycles. Well,
90s dance was so powerful in the 90s.
like yeah, and I look at it and I go, yeah, that's cool what that guy's doing. And somebody might go, oh, that's so pedestrian. You should see this guy. And I might not get it and go, yeah, there's too much going on there. It's not my thing. So I don't have a problem with people that go, you know, uh, I can't listen to that. And I go, yeah, I get that. That's cool. I get it. You don't want to work that hard. That's not the purpose
Yeah,
music serves for you.
you're right. You're totally right. And maybe my point was not that good with Beatles, but you're right with that. I think that
No, your
uh
point with the Beatles is exactly right.
but
Uh,
yeah, I think that it's not everyone that want to challenge themselves in a
no,
way that it's not about being catchy or something. It's just creating something that is challenging for you, that bring another level. Because as a
other
musician,
people,
you
I,
want to
other people, I
progress.
don't want to be challenged. I just want a catchy something to sing. And sometimes that's all I want. Sometimes I'll go, oh, I think I'll listen to this, and then I go on. And I go, no, that's too much. I'm gonna put on Frank Sinatra this afternoon. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna listen to some nice music today. And some people that's all they want, and that's a legitimate point of view. And so, yeah, and so I think a lot of the like hardcore stuff and all of that that had this agenda that was beyond the sonic agenda that was beyond just being hooky and playing interest or playing, you know, yeah, catchy stuff. You know, you're already uh, taking a chance at nobody liking it. You know, where there are certain things that'll just work. And
And the main problem now, and it really happened with Outcore, the first wave was really interesting with the Gorilla Biscuit, the Minor Threat, and everything. They were original, and there was a lot of melodic punk too involved. And then when 8 Breed came with that album, I Will Be Heard, which is
yeah,
not a bad album, it's a great record, but everybody after that was sounding like that fucking song, that main song. I will be heard.
yeah,
No, it's my time. And like everybody, because record label, they don't want to take risks. So it's working. Let's do that. And I
uh,
feel so bad for those artists that playing stuff that they don't really like. And I did a lot of interview and I felt, wow, man, they fucking, they're in a scene that they don't like
really,
enjoy
they
and
would
they're
tell you
not
that.
listening to it anymore.
They would tell you that. They would say to you, "Wow,
Yeah, I'm not doing the interview, but I'm more listening into, and I'm starting a new band, and it's completely different, and like, and the label want us to do that thing on the records, and I didn't want, so I'm gonna do on that project, and they're more excited about
yeah,
than what they're doing, and I'm like, why the fuck you release it? It's
yeah,
a job, they have to pay rent and everything, so they're doing it, but and I met so many bands, oh, I love that first record and oh, it sucked, man. I fucking hate that record. Why did you release it? Like, don't
yeah,
release something that you ain't gonna be proud in, 10 or 20 or 30 years. You
yeah." But
you have to be
can't
proud of what you do.
you can't foresee that either. A lot of times you are proud, and then a little while later you're like, "Oh, wait, no." I mean, I have songs on records that I can't listen to, and I have like where I just go, oh, "I hate this song. I hate it. I hate the way my voice sounds." You know, but what are you gonna do? At the time, it's like I put it out, and I was a different person. It's like I was married for 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah, we were together for 23, 20. So, and now I don't even really talk to my ex-wife. I don't really know much about her life. We're not friends. And you just go, wow, that's weird because we were married and we were, that people really do change that much to where like we're just not even on the same page anymore. And so it'd be the same with your band, like that band from a million years ago, you might go, or that one record, you go, I don't even relate to that anymore. I was in love with it, but now I'm not at all. And I can see that happening, I can see it
And
happening all the time.
it's such an interesting point again. Now it's more than ever. People are fucking, I wrote a text about it. Just like, I know we're in the lockdown in Quebec and everything, and people are pissed because there's always more measure and a measure, but people don't really listen, so they have to do something, and
Right.
it pisses
So
people off, tired, like everybody. And it's crazy how to see friends that I know for a long time, like getting on each other, and I'm like, just chill out, guys. Don't talk about that. And in 2 years, you're gonna laugh about it. But right now, you want to fucking kill each other, and you fucking love yourself for 20, 30 years, and it's
yeah.
crazy how much you think people, and at some points, like you said, something change. You want to do something else, and then
You grow as a person, or you grow and like my wife and I, we grew in different directions. She became that person, I became this person, and we weren't the same two people who met. And that happens with music too. Like I was this guy back here, and I grew into this guy, and I'm over here now, and that guy isn't me, and I don't like that record. I can see that happening. Or for me, I don't have any records I don't like, but I have songs where I go, oh my god, the hell was I thinking? And it's like, I was a different guy. I was, it's weird. That's how music careers work, or that's how anything is. That's when I was an art major and we take art history, you could see people's art just over the course of their career just become completely different, and
Yeah.
that like they look back and go, oh, I hated those paintings. I hate those, but at the time they're like, this is a great painting. So
You're right. Yeah, we change. I think the base is always the same, the foundations of what we are and what
right.
defines us, it's always the same strong thing. But there's so much stuff, and we get to know a lot of people now with the internet and everything. So our mind is always challenging in so many different directions that I think it's kind of normal. And I don't see myself doing the same thing all of my life, so I question a lot at some point. I'm doing radio shows in 15 years. So what's next? I'm thinking
But
about
maybe
politics. I'm thinking about,
maybe you do a radio show, or if you did, but it'll be different. In 10 years
yeah,
from now, your radio show will be different. And you might look back and go, this I've learned over the years. I don't like that part of it. I want to do something different. And that's how it is in me with music. It's like even the way I write songs is different. I used to write the lyrics all in my head all day long, every day, and I would remember them, and I would keep building it as I was working. And then when it came time to write the lyric sheet, I wouldn't have anything written down. It would all be in my head, so I'd have to sit there for days writing shit down. Now I can't even imagine how I did that. Like I don't think that way. Now I sit in front of the computer and I get a thesaurus out and look for a better word and try to figure out what I want to say. And it's a totally different thing. And I'm like a totally different guy in some
is
way.
it more, is it more easy for you than back in the days, or is it something that it's still art, or it's both? Maybe it can be both.
Um, it's the same in that regard. I mean, writing music, I go through periods where like if I come onto a new sort of uh, place on my guitar that I had never been to before, I can run with that for 15 songs. Like, oh, look at that. If I do that to that to that to that. But and then I'll go through periods where musically I can't write anything. Everything just sounds like something I already did. And I just go, I got nothing. I got nothing. And you can get really discouraged, and it can build on itself to where you go, I'm never going to be able to write again. Right now, I'm in a really prolific place. Like I'm writing a bunch of music. Now, lyrics, I hate writing lyrics. I hate it. It's the most, because to me it's like a puzzle. You have to put it all together, and I'm like people who say I write lyrics. Sometimes I write lyrics first and then write a song. I think, the fuck is wrong with you? You from Mars? You write lyrics and then write a song? Like, like me. Where's my guitar? So I'll be like, sorry, James, I don't want to smash my dog, but I'll be like, I got this thing. Right? So that's I written. So now I gotta go. I ain't had no coffee yet. Maybe I'll make a cup. I would coffee pot is empty. Could someone please fill it up? You know what I mean? So you go. So you just sit there going, okay, I got these melodies, and words need to fit into it. So then I got to put this fucking puzzle together. But then the words also have to be good. They can't be like coffee. I had some coffee and I need a cup of coffee. And you just go,
I like it. It can be like a publicity
oh,
about
it's
coffee. It can
terrible.
work.
It's terrible. But I mean, that was off top of my head. But like, then I got to get an idea. Then I got to make it rhyme in the way I want it to. And then it's got to be as rhythmic as I want it. And then it's like, and I just sit there going, I fucking hate this. I hate it. So I write. I like writing the music and the that, but I don't. But that song will stay like that for the next 16 years while I just go. I keep writing more songs and go man and then it's like, oh, I gotta write some words for that shit. Fuck, I hate that. So I don't remember what the original question was, but that's always It's always been like that for me. I write write the music and the melody at the same time, and then try to poke words into it. You know. So when people say, "Oh, I write the words first," I just go, "You're a freak. What is wrong with you? You can't write the words first. How does that work?" You know.
Yeah, I've heard that many times,
A
and
lot,
it's
a
crazy
lot
for
of
a
people.
guy like me, that don't play music. It's like people that I design, inside house. They're seeing everything, and I'm
Yeah,
like, I'm a blur. If there's no couch, I cannot figure a couch there. It needs to be
yeah,
there so I can see it. Okay, it fit. Like, you
yeah,
just imagine it. I'm like, I can't. It
yeah.
and it's the same. I cannot create melody or anything in my head. So when I heard artists, all like, I've got all the melody. You've got all the melody. What the fuck it came on? I just like,
Yeah,
what the hell?
there have been times when I've come up with a melody in my head, but now usually I come up with a chord progression, and I come up with the chord progression and the melody at the same time, and I go, "Oh, that's cool," and I'm like, "Oh, I got a song. It's gonna be a song," and then I'll record it on my phone or whatever, and go, "Don't lose that." And if I'm like, if I come up with it just fucking around and I don't have anything to record it with, I freak out and I run around and I try to find some way to record it because it'll go away, you know. And I hum and I run around the house looking for my phone, right? So then I start piecing these pieces together. Then I create like a song ish, and then it's like, okay, time to make those melodies into words, you know. And it's like, dude, I would rather go to the dentist than sit down and write those lyrics. I just drives me nuts. It's the worst. But yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
You
But
throw a lot of songs in the garbage, or
no,
you try to keep everything.
no, I don't throw hardly anything away. I forget things. I have a lot of songs that I've written them to completion and then I forgot them. And there's like, yeah, I had a really good song I wrote a long time ago about this incident that happened on tour where this guy's iguana bit me and then he kissed his girlfriend and he and a bunch of skinheads tried to beat me up and I wrote this really cool song about it. Can't remember it. It's gone. It's just gone. And I'm freaking heartbroken. I can sort of remember it, but yeah.
It's always crazy to hear their story because, as Canadian, it's pretty soft here. So, when we heard the LA, or like, what the fuck, man? Like, Joey shit had told me, like, actually, a guys came on the scene and he stabbed him in the back. Like, just like, not a big knife or anything, just like, and
Is
it did
that
a cut.
shit?
Yeah, they throw the guys out. He took like the knife off and he fucking finished the show. I'm like,
Uh, I
it's
remember.
like, it's totally surreal. And I said, how much bucks did they pay you that night? And said something like $50.
Yeah. Well, see, Joey Shithead is the Bloody But Unbowed record uh, was one of the things that cemented my love for punk rock. It was like I heard. Oh, let's see. I heard.
Because for a lot of people, it's Hardcore 81 that really, it's a really short record, 18
Yeah,
minutes, I think, but it's straight to the point.
yeah. I think I heard. What song is it? Is it The Prisoner? With
Yeah.
Chuck Biscuits going do better, do better, do better, do better, do
Yeah.
better, do better. Go, chung 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 chung. Dude, I smashed everything in my room when I heard that. I was like, this is the greatest thing. This is such a great record. And I mean, it was up there with Nevermind the Bollocks and
Wow.
fucking. Oh, I love that record. And
It's fun. It's so hot to hear because again, like, if you talk about the people of my generation, they don't know a lot about DOA. They know the name, but they don't know like the songs and everything. And when you see DOA just one time in your life, you know those guys were like the hardcore. They're like playing nonstop, like you did with
yeah,
Paul. Like, they
well, they
play
were.
like, I think, two 267 show, I think, a year. It's
Gee,
like, what the hell?
can't even imagine. Yeah, I saw them at Fender's Ballroom once in Los Angeles, and and this is the true story. I think the song You know, you got to know who the enemy is. The enemy got to know who your enemy is.
Yeah, yeah. I don't have the name like this, but
Yeah,
yeah, I know the songs you're talking
I
about.
love that song. And was a scary, yeah. And Tennis Ballroom was a scary place in Long Beach. And that song came out, and I was like, screw it. I ran through the pit and ran up to the thing, and I was watching it. And some kid jumped on my back and started pulling on my face. So I threw him on the ground, like, ah. And a dude on the other side of one of the bouncer guys, when it must have been his friend, because he jumped over, and they both pulled my jacket over my head and started trying to punch me. And I was like, oh my fucking God. So they were standing really close together, and their legs were right together. And I was a wrestler in college and everything. So I was like, I bet I can get each one of them in a double leg, single leg. You know, you grab one leg. So I got this one guy's leg, this is the other guy's leg. I got both their legs. I picked them both up, and they're in the air, and I dropped them on their heads and ran out the back door. And I was like, man, that was awesome. I knocked two guys down at
Oh,
once.
you did the tombstone like you did the Undertaker thing before. Way it was cool with two guys,
Two
not
guys, got
one.
two guys, yeah. And then I ran into the back of the club, and there was another room, and I ran out. I think I ended up staying to watch the rest of the set because the one guy had to work and the other guy fell on his head, and they left me alone after that. But that was at a DOA show. Uh, and then uh, one time we were in Vancouver at a place called Club Soda. Really, it was a cool place to play. And when we came in, DOA was on the stage, and they were just taking band photos, just taking promo photos. And I remember me and Bugface, our roadie at the time, we were in this stage that we were driving everybody crazy because we wouldn't stop talking like pirates, you know. And we were tour punchy, and we come in, and DOA's on the stage, and it's like, you know, I never got used to that, like running into guys that I was like, I have your record, you know, I have, you know, I wore bloody but unbowed out, and there they are. And so we come on the stage, and Bugface or I goes, we're gonna board your stage, and we're gonna take your stuff like that. And Joey Shithead looked at us, and he goes, well, I don't think you can do it like that. And 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 they're all great big, and it was just me and Bug, and we're little, and we're like, yeah, we probably can't. We went and sat down, but it was just like, even the fact that he acknowledged our existence at the time was like, oh my God, you know. There was a lot that was in the early days when I was still like, oh my God, you know, that's Mike Watt. There he is, you know. So it was cool. That was a neat thing. But yeah, I don't think you can do it. Yeah, we
Is
probably.
there any band that you tour with? Not just with All, maybe with the Pavers or any project that you were like it was surreal that you play with them
Oh
and
yeah,
you were
we played. We were when I was in All. Uh, we were at Berkeley. I remember I was having coffee, uh, and Bill comes up to me, and like we had 2 weeks off between legs of a tour, and Bill said, Scott, we got to call at the office, and the replacements want us to, in the 2 weeks off, they want us to come on tour with them. And he goes, you know, do you want to go on tour with the replacements? And I was like, oh my God. I said, fuck yeah, I want to go on tour with the replacements. And he goes, well, okay, all right. And he asked everybody. And so it was like, he comes back and he goes, yeah, we're gonna instead of taking 2 weeks off, we're gonna hook up with the replacements it was in the South. I don't remember where, South Carolina or something. And so we got down there, and like I was like, the replacements. I just love the replacements, you know. And at the time, I really loved them. And you know, we got to the club. I remember we went in, and I was looking around, going, you know, uh, where are they? Oh my God, where are they? And I was like a little kid. I was like, oh my God, am I gonna? finally, I went out back, and Paul Westerberg was sitting on this little wall, and he was in his it was 100 degrees out, and he was in a suit jacket and jeans and zip boots, like a replacement guy, smoking a cigarette. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And I said to him, cool, is that your tour bus? And he's like, yeah, you dumb shit. And I was like, gee, I never seen a tour bus. Can I see your tour bus? And he's like, what? And I said, can I see you? So I made him show me their bus. And I didn't even care about their bus at all. I just, and then I know he thought he was like, what is this fucking guy? And then later on I went out, and I used to always bring like a basketball and a football and a couple mitts and a baseball and stuff on tour just to pass the time. And I came out once, and he was sitting there again, and I had a mitt in one hand and a ball in another mitt, and I was looking for Bug, our roadie, to maybe go throw some catch. And I said to him, I said, hey, you want to throw the bean? You want to toss the pill? You want to, And he looked at me, and he goes, I don't do sports, right? And I said, oh, okay, all right. So after that, every time I'd see him, like I'd have a basketball. I used to like to throw the football. We had a wiffle ball. Every time I walked past him, I'd have like something, and I'd be like, and he'd just laugh. And we ended up, he was really nice. He was a good guy. And he, the last night of the tour, I think he was just tuning his guitar. We were sitting backstage at this thing, and he said, what do you want to hear tonight, Scott? And I said, you know that one? Because I don't know any song titles ever. I don't look at it, I just listen to them. And I go, you know that one that goes, you're my favorite thing? And he goes, favorite thing? And I go, I guess so. Yeah, I guess that's the one. And he goes, nah, we don't know that anymore. We don't play it anymore. I'd play it, but we haven't rehearsed it in forever. And I said, well, he said, well, do you have something else you want to hear? And I said, I don't know what I said. I will dare or something, and so that night we got done with our set, and I'm out in this crowd area. I remember I was talking to this really cute girl, and they come out for their encore, and then he goes, this one's for Scott. And so if we fuck it up, it's his fault. And then they played favorite thing, and they had to keep starting it because they kept fucking it up, and it got funnier and funnier. And it was like, that was great. And yeah, I was marginally overwhelmed, by Paul Westerberg. I'll say that.
That's cool. I love the replacement. That's great. And they're like, they're all characters. There's some band that everyone is a character. Sometimes you or the lead singer or whatever, but they are all. It's a really interesting band. So yeah, it's cool. And I think you're like me. I fucking hate like all the songs that most of the band hates. And it happened to me. I remember clearly one night Lagwagon were playing, and Joey Cape did an acoustic set, and the last song he came to me and said what I should play. And I said, play Beer Goggles. And like, you're the most stupid person in the world. I will never play that. Well, pick me if you want to. But those songs are good, no?
Well, favorite thing is a really good song. And he didn't dislike it. He just goes, well, we're out of practice. It's been a while since that record came out and stuff. But they tried it anyway, and it was really funny. It was nice. Yeah, he was a real cool guy. Like when I first got out to LA and started playing music with, was before I was in the Descendants. We had a practice space for my other band called Three Car Pileup, and Jack Brewer from Saccharine Trust had a band with the Bob Fitz from Saccharine Trust, and anyway, they were a pretty cool band, and I became friends with Jack and stuff because I slept in that parking lot and stayed in the practice space, And this, so when they would practice, they were basically practicing at my house. So we became, kind of buddies. And he invited me to his wedding. Uh, and I went with Bob Fitz, who's the best bass player on earth from Saccharin Trust. He's just ridiculously good. And we
You're not
went.
the only one who said that. It's
Yeah,
not the first time I hear that.
that guy can do things with bass that I've never seen anybody do. But
I always felt that he's not alone playing. There's somebody like two more hands like helping him out.
oh, he played. Oh, it was a America the Beautiful, maybe. I don't know, one of those songs, and he played the whole thing on bass with chords, and he just goes, he was like this. He's like, watch this, check it out, check it out, check it out, and then he just played the most, and you just sit there going, holy shit, how did you play that? Anyway, we went together to the wedding, and it was like this, just kind of, there was a keg in the room, and everybody was drinking stuff, and I had just gotten kind of, well, I've been out there a little while, but I just moved out to the South Bay, where like SST and all that is. And at that wedding, like, Mike Watt and Hurley came in, uh, and Greg Ginn, who at the time I know real well now, but I didn't know at all. And it was like uh, uh, Joe Baiza was Universal Congress up played after the ceremony, and I was just like, oh my God, these are all the people. Because like I missed the boat on all that cool uh, LA punk rock. By the time I got out there, it was like 1987. So that was all done.
Yeah, yeah.
E. Boone was dead.
Years. Like
Yeah,
I think 1985 was like the Circle Jerks and Bad Religion were like the two bands getting the punk rock scene. There
right.
was a couple of bands still going on, but the thing went
Well,
really down the wave.
the thing was done. Yeah. So I missed the boat, but at that wedding, I remember looking around just going, this is crazy. These are all these people in my record collection here at this wedding. You know what I mean? And that was really cool. So I guess
But
that was another moment.
and that's the thing, when you were sleeping in your vans and the guys from Al came and asked you like, hey, do you want to try it? And did you feel that those guys that were legions can will be the scene 20 and 30 years later? I mean, like, it's funny because when you mentioned, so I called Bill, hey, I've got songs, hey, do you want to record it? Do you know how much band will love to just call Bill and ask doing a record?
Yeah.
When you met them, you don't see him as the pillar that is now, or
Well,
Stephen
no,
or Paul, whatever.
at the time, like when I first, Milo was the one for me when I first met Milo back 100 years ago. I was like, holy shit. I was like, holy shit. I remember we opened for the Descendants. I was in a band with Tony
He's
Lombardo.
real.
Yeah, it was just really weird because I don't know. It was different then because you didn't have the internet. I didn't really know what he looked like, but when he talked, I'm like, that is. And it was really like surreal uh, to be on tour and to become friends and start bonding with them. And you know, I can remember back then what it was like. And we did this tour with them with Tony Lombardo. I was in a band with Tony Lombardo, the original bass player, and we only went as far as Texas. And I had quit my job in Los Angeles, and I had an apartment in Hollywood that I couldn't afford. And that band was falling apart. All we did was fight, and I broke down and cried in front of everybody when they left town. Bill got out and gave me a hug. It was the weirdest thing ever. But because I thought, oh my God, there they go. There go the Descendants and everything cool. And I don't have a job. And, you know, what should I do? I ended up going back to Los Angeles. And then I moved into my car because I lost my apartment. And because I was like, I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep going. But yeah, so back then they were, I was like, this is incredible. Like when I got when I got the urge to play music, I was like, uh, I can't stay here in my little town. I can't do it here. I either got to go to Los Angeles or New York. And in New York, it's like, where am I going to go? Go meet the Misfits? I'm not going to go meet the Misfits, you know? So I'll go meet the Descendants, and I figured I'll get out there, and if I can even meet those guys, I can maybe, uh, maybe there's musicians out there. There's probably, like in my mind, since I had records and they were from I figured, wow, they must be doing really well because I'm from a small town and I don't have records anywhere. I didn't realize what it was like when I went out there and they all lived in an office and had a van. I was like, oh, okay, this is what it's like, which was fine with me, you know. But I didn't expect to be in their band, you know. And I remember the first time I played with All, we played at the Music Machine on Pico in Los Angeles.
It's
And,
crazy how much deeply you remember always the first time, you
yeah,
know?
right. I remember a gig like it's yesterday too. And I've been working on Allroy's Revenge, and they went and set up, and then I got a ride over, and it was the first show I ever played with them. And I wasn't thinking because I was so busy making this record and stuff. And so I got in and I'm nervous. I'm like, okay, where do I go? And uh, the first song they ever played was My Age, you know, right? So the thing that they had,
Almost there. Almost near. Rising up to the over.
yeah, yeah, and
I never saw you singing it.
really, I sang it every night. But
Yeah,
anyway,
I know. You were acoustic. You didn't did any songs from All or anything the
oh,
last time.
oh no,
Which
no.
I totally
Well, I songs from
that
all.
that didn't what I expected to. So I did love
I
that.
did. I don't do descendants, but I sang Dot and probably No Traffic. And anyway, yeah, so they started playing and it just hit me like a ton of bricks. Like I left home, I moved to Los Angeles. I wanted to see if I could find the Descendants, and now I'm on stage and I'm in the Descendants basically, and they're playing My Age, and I went, oh shit, I fucked up. I shouldn't be up here. This is fucking stupid. What the hell did you do, Scott? What did you get yourself into? And I felt like I almost just turned around and looked at Bill and went, hey, I don't know what the fuck I thought I could do. This is bullshit. Good luck, fellas. And just ran out and drove back to Buffalo. You know, I was like, ah. So then that all went, and I started singing, and then, you know, and now all these years later, you know, it's not even like that. You know, I play a if I play a show anywhere near where Milo lives, you know, he comes and we hang out and have a drink, and it's just years go by, and I that mindset I can still remember it, but you know, when you know somebody now for decades, it's not the same thing anymore. You know, I'm still in some ways I'm still like, this is pretty cool that I know these guys, but it's just been 3 decades. So, you know, at some
And
point you gotta.
but it's cool that you guys, bounded again a couple of years later, that it was no issues about that. So many bands, they don't talk to each other, and it's just a matter of get them in the fucking rooms and a couple of beers and everything's gonna be fine, and they want to play together. Misfits are a good example.
Yeah,
They
no.
did it, big way.
Well,
But
we had our
it's
we had our
we're
struggle.
getting old. You want to die like hating each other's and just
Yeah,
like what the matters? When you're 40, it's not the same problem as you're 20.
yep. No, I mean, and everybody's got their own perspective, and then you start to see each other's perspective, and then you go like, oh, this is stupid, you know. But maybe we had our struggles, but you know, we don't have any anymore. It's like when we play these occasional all shows, it's just silly. It's just fun. It's ridiculous because we did so much touring in so many places, and there's so many memories of goofy shit and broken down vans and just crazy times and stuff. And then I look around on stage, and it's the same people, but we're all old. Like, and it's bittersweet, but it's also really comical. Like I look and I go, this is ridiculous. I picture some crazy night in Amsterdam when we did something dumb and we were young, and then there's Stefan right there. There's Carl and Bill's back there, and it's almost like a high school reunion or something, where you go back and you're like, how are you doing? So yeah, everybody's doing good as far as getting along. We don't have any issues anymore at all. So
Yeah, and it's
Bill
weird.
and I
People
text
always,
almost every day. What's that?
yeah, and a lot of people requesting like a comeback from all the records or anything, and it's
Yeah,
funny. And at the end, I think the two last record they released, there was like the most well known, like they were really the scene really embraced it, with Chad and everything, but they leave and I did an interview with Chad and we spoke a little bit about that like now and it was like I'm a huge Scott fan. So when I went in, I was like, oh, I hope he don't like hate me, and seeing you two
yeah,
together now and enjoying because it's always like the guy that step up in your boots. You're like, okay, I'm entering the camp, so do I have to be against the last singer? Because I don't hate him, I don't, and I don't want to take his job, but yeah, I have to feed the kids too, or put some food on the table.
yeah. But I mean, the thing is, I Bill and I decided that I was done. I quit, and it was kind of mutual, and I was done. And I suggested that they ask Chad because I knew Chad from Kansas City and I'd seen him play. And they said, "Who do you think?" And I said, "I think you should just get Chad." So I mean, I I had no ill will at all. I was quitting. What are you gonna do? Not have a singer now because I quit? Yeah,
Never have a singer again. You just
yeah,
play like music, like no no
yeah.
voice.
Whoever you get, I'll hate. You know. Yeah. Even
Yeah,
though,
but
even
in
though
a
I don't
way,
want.
I think you guys were so, at the end, it was really hard. Like you said, there was not much money, and you guys were so tired. It was kind of normal, in a way
I
to
mean,
part away.
it was super intense at the time, and then you know, you get worn out. You get worn out, and then Bill was wanted to go this direction with it, and I wanted to go this direction, and I was like, yeah, I don't know, man. And he was like, yeah, I get it too, because he wanted to be more rock. He wanted more kind of a rougher thing, and I wanted to do like Coolidge and Can't Say kind of stuff, and my weird stuff, and even Bill's weird stuff. The weird I liked a lot. So I thought the music was just it was going in a way that I wasn't on board with or wasn't equipped to do that well, and I think Bill was understanding how yeah it's not going to work this way, and Scott's not content, and we just sort of mutually agreed that it was like yeah let's not do this anymore. Go find the singer you want, and I'll go start the band I want. So I went and I did Goodbye Harry, and uh, and it worked out because I mean I like the records I did after all, and I love the Pavers. The Pavers is a great band. We're gonna do more.
Oh, yeah, Pavers. I listen to everything. It's your voice. You can, if you want to sing 80s, hard rock or whatever, you can do it. And it's pretty rare, to have a range that can change with every project. But
I
when you
appreciate,
hear like the Pavers and what you did with Al, it's totally different. And some people don't even recognize your voice.
yeah, yeah. I guess to me it all sounds. And when I write songs, I don't write them differently. But like on my last record, that's how those songs go, no matter what. So I show up to practice and I go, this is how they go. And then whatever the band is, it turns into what that band does. You know what I mean? I'm pretty okay with what people want to play. I'm not real picky about because I'm like, well, you're the guitar player. I like the way you play guitar, or you wouldn't be in the band I'm in. So play it like you play it, and they come out different. So when that's why when I did to go back around when I started doing the acoustic stuff, people are going, "Wow, it's cool what you did with that song." And I'll say, "I don't do anything with that song. That's how that song went. The other guy did something with it earlier, but this is how it's always gone." So
A lot of people don't know that, and they're surprised when they hear like, Pennywise wrote like that song's acoustic. Yeah, most of them do that acoustic, and they speed it up, and then like everybody's put their thing, and
yeah,
you punk rock songs.
that's how it works. Yeah, and a lot of times because you don't want to play through it, you don't want to play through an amplified guitar all the time. You want to, especially if you're riding on tour and you're in the van, you play with whatever guitar. We had that Dan Electro we called the Van Beater, and it was a little hollow body guitar. And so many songs are written on that guitar. Like if you're sitting around doing nothing and you got a chord progression, you just kind of work on it. So, I mean, it's just how it is.
We spoke about the documentary about Allen Descendants. It was not surprise me that they want to do a documentary about your story. It's really interesting. Is it the same? I think it's the same director. Is it the same team that will do that?
No, just the director. He was doing a thing called Sunday brunch shows, and it was like,
Yeah.
yeah, and it was a really cool show, and he had a lot of cool people, and he asked me to do stuff, and then one day out of the blue, he said, "Hey, do you want to do like a concert thing with some documentary type stuff, and we'll make a thing?" He said, "Maybe we can make a series of like shows, or maybe we'll make a document like a single." And and I was like, "Yeah, that'd be fucking fun." And so he ended up it sort of morphed, and his name's Matt Riggle, and he's very talented, and he's very good at like. Well, I mean, you saw film; it's really cool, and
Yeah.
he's like,
Like the dynamics and with the cartoon and everything. It's like
yeah,
it's so funny. The moment like you're not Milo, you're like it just it's it yeah, it
yeah,
really like nail it.
yeah, and I don't know what he's going to do on this one, but he's interviewed a lot of people, so it's
You
turned out,
gotta interview that guy that was wailing, "You're not Milo." Hey, we got him. He's
yeah, right, yeah. So I mean, I don't know, I don't, I haven't seen any of it yet, uh,
Wow.
but
It's like us. You're gonna be as surprised as
right.
us at
Well,
the end.
did you see that little sort of trailer where I'm talking about my dog, and then
Yeah, yeah.
that's all I've seen, just that. So I
Wow.
can't tell you much about it, but I know he talked to some really cool people that he talked to my mom even. So uh, yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be interesting. He's coming up here now that things are a little safer. He's coming up here in I'm going to say about a month. No, 3 weeks, maybe. We're going to do a little more talking, and he's going to show me a rough cut of what he's got, and yeah. So I don't know. It's going to be cool. I don't know. I don't know what'll happen with it. I don't know what the plans are for it, but it's very exciting and a lot of fun. You know.
Mm. I'm so happy for you, Scott. You
Thank-
deserve it. You're such a great human being, and like I always said, what you throw in the world, it's gonna get back to you. And I think you throw positivity, hard work, and you always been fun and generous with the people. And like you said, like me, you suffer of a lot of anxiety, and you're not you're social, but that fucking stress inside that keep you stuck inside and everything, and you
Right.
fight it, and you're really inspiring me in a way, and I'm sure you inspire a lot of people,
Oh,
and
thank.
I appreciate that you always take time with me, drunk or not.
Well, we'll do it drunk again as soon as we can.
Yeah, and it's on me. You actually you pay me like the shooters. We took like something like 3 shooter each and drink a beer, and then we went on the interview. And
uh,
the shooter and the drink take
I
off
pay.
after 15 minutes or something like that, and it's
I
so
pay.
funny.
Did I
Yeah,
pay?
yeah, you pay.
All right. Well, then good. You're going to pay me back.
Yeah, and I was like, no, I'm paying. And you're like, no, fuck that. It's your interview. It's my turn next time. And then thank you, because it was a great interview. It was really funny.
Was
That's what I'm looking for.
yeah, it was fun. That was a fun night. Yeah,
Yeah, and Quebec is waiting for you
I'll
as
be
soon
back.
as we can, man. We really hope to see you around here.
I would love to come back. I love it there. So yeah.
Scott, I do interview, and I'm restrain myself every time because I don't want to go in direction that you don't want to talk or anything. And I love talking about all and every other project. Every time you give everything, and I appreciate it. We did almost 2 hours, and man, if I didn't entertain you in those 2 hours, I fucking own you 2 hours of your life.
No, no, this was fun. I can't believe it's been 2 hours. Holy crap! You got a lot to pick through. How are you going to make an interview out of that?
For the radio show, it's gonna be easy. I'm gonna do. I've got an hour and a half, so I'm gonna do something like 40-minute interview, skipping 2 times. But I'm gonna put like the whole interview on our YouTube channel so people can listen to the whole thing. It's
Cool.
really interesting, and congratulations with the new records. I listened to it 5 times now. It's a good experience. My girlfriend listened to it; she love it. The kids love it too. And like you said, it's for everyone, and I appreciate that because you have that talent and that energy to bound everyone. There's like you always ask yourself where I belong. You belong everywhere, Scott.
Oh,
That's it.
thank you. I really appreciate that. I really do. Thanks a lot. And thanks for your interest. I mean, I'm glad people are still interested in what I got to do and what I have to say because I like doing it. So, yeah.
It's in your blood. Don't stop like doing music. You could like after all said, fuck that crap. I'm a bartender. I will stop making music. But
I'm the
I
worst bartender that
don't
ever
have
lived.
those
I'm a
things.
terrible bartender. I'm a terrible bartender. I got no choice. It's either I do music or I move furniture. Those are my choices. So
A bartender is more listening to people than really serving them.
well, I'm good at that end of it. I just can't remember drinks. I've been bartending for on and off for God a really long time, and I just can't remember drinks. I just can't do it. They're like, give me a Harvey Wallbanger, and I'm like, what's that? You don't want to have to tell your bartender that. It's like, how about a whiskey coke? I know that one.
Here, God damn it. And will the bar will open? How is it right now in the U.S.? Here it's the total lockdown. We're waiting
Uh-huh.
for vaccine. We're like 16% of people vaccinated in Quebec.
Yeah, it's good. Well, for us, we're re we're remodeling, so it's going to be a little while. But our bar's so small that if they um, with the pandemic numbers you're allowed and the distancing social, we can't fit anybody in anyway. So it's not we can't really afford to open. So I don't know. We're doing all right. We're getting by without it for now. And then when this record goes mega platinum, we'll just sell the fucking thing and
Yeah, because being on my radio show, you're gonna sell at least 100,000 just
great.
like doing the show.
Great. I'm gonna sell 100,000 records plus. You're gonna buy me a lot of drinks when I get up there. So
I own you drinks and people, but seriously, we're laughing about it. But if you can afford it, go grab like, is there any shirt, any other merch than just the CD? And how's the best way to directly encourage you, Scott?
oh, you know what? We've got a lot of stuff coming out with shirts. There's gonna be a really cool one. We just got our own press, so we're making our own this time. How do you get to me? Well, my Facebook is the best way to go. What's the new one that Janet set up? Scott Reynolds Music and Art is the one, and you can find everything there. And I have a website, but I don't know what the address is because I just created it, or Janet did. So a lot of good that does me. See what I mean? I'm not good at this.
No, you're not that bad. It's normal. You play music, and we're gonna keep track of whatever the website is.
All right.
Um, It's on Bandcamp. It's got
Yeah.
reynolds.bandcamp.com. But if
Thank
people are listening to that, just write me. It's easy to find. Just write me, and I get you to Scott. And just buy
Right.
everything you can. It's really important, man. And we want you to Quebec. So if you want to afford like putting gas, just keep him busy, like just doing like boxing and sending stuff.
Yeah. Just keep him boxing. Oh, I thought you meant boxing. I'm not too old for that.
Oh, it's French boxing. It's different. It's doing a little box with merch inside. It's not boxing. God, you're really being generous of your time.
Uh,
Thank you, man, for the friendship and everything. It means
yeah.
the world for us. We're gonna do a huge special. I'm gonna send all the details. And again, congratulations. You must be proud. I love the records.
Thank you.
And thank you, man.
Thank you for your interest and for helping me spread the word. I appreciate it more than I can express. So,
You wanted to get us like 3 times in the interview, but we keep him on. And it's like, that guy will shut up. Scott, tell him to shut up. I want to go poop.
shit. Well, I talk way more than anybody I know. So, all right. I'll see you later. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Scott. See you later. Have a
Yep.
great evening.
You too. This has been really fun. See ya.
See, same here, man. Thank you.
Yep.
I'm gonna keep you posted when I hear the interview. I'm gonna hear it in 2 or 3 weeks and make sure I send all the details. We're not a podcast show. We're live in the radio stations, but we've got a podcast available. So I'm gonna send all the
Send me
details so
all
people
the
can.
pertinent information. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Say goodbye. Say goodbye. He's like, I
Can't
was.
wait to meet in person. You have the best dog, man. Oh,
All right. I'll talk to you soon.
thank you, Scott. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Cheers.